The US President Donald Trump says that he has spoken with Vladimir Putin about the next steps in his efforts to end the war in Ukraine.
The United States is potentially prepared to be able to give Article 5 security guarantees, but not from NATO, directly from the United States and other European countries.
Imagine this. Ukraine is still locked in a brutal war with Russia. Cities are under attack, soldiers are running low on ammunition, and civilians are living in fear.
President Trump initially said he wanted a ceasefire agreement. Now he wants a broader peace deal. Secretary Rubio defending that approach, basically saying the Russians wouldn't agree to a ceasefire.
For 2 years, President Volodymyr Zelensky has relied on one key lifeline, the United States. But now, with Donald Trump pushing for a political comeback and signaling that he might align himself with Vladimir Putin, that lifeline may be in danger. Today's headlines are buzzing with fresh statements from Trump, Zelensky, and Moscow, and they all point to one question. Is a Trump-Putin alliance the worst possible news for Ukraine? Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the stories shaping global politics. Today, we are unpacking a developing situation that has the potential to change the course of the war in Ukraine, redraw alliances, and shake the world order. The idea of Donald Trump returning to power in the United States is already controversial. But what makes it even more concerning is how this could directly benefit Vladimir Putin. Zelensky, on the other hand, is warning that every delay, every hesitation, and every shift in US politics puts Ukraine at risk of collapse. And that's why today's news is so critical. Donald Trump has once again made headlines with his comments about the war in Ukraine. In a rally just yesterday, he repeated his claim that he could end the conflict in one day. His reasoning is simple but alarming. He argues that the US should not be wasting billions of dollars on foreign wars, while Americans at home are struggling with inflation, immigration, and rising crime. For his supporters, this message hits home. But for Ukraine, the message is chilling. Ending the war in a day likely means forcing Zelensky to agree to Russian demands, possibly giving up territory and sovereignty. Trump also criticized President Biden's policies, accusing him of dragging America into endless conflicts. According to Trump, Washington should prioritize America first and stop funding other nations' wars. These remarks, covered widely in today's US and international media, have been echoed in Russian state outlets, which portray Trump as a rational leader compared to Biden. Vladimir Putin is watching all of this very closely. For over 2 years, Russia's war in Ukraine has been expensive, bloody, and damaging to Russia's global reputation. But Putin's strategy has always been to wait it out, to play the long game. He knows that democracies often tire of prolonged wars, and he is betting that Western unity will eventually collapse. Today, Kremlin officials even welcomed Trump's recent remarks, calling them a sign that Washington is waking up to reality. For Putin, this is exactly what he wants: cracks in Western support for Ukraine. He doesn't need to defeat Ukraine outright on the battlefield if US politics can deliver him the victory he's been seeking. And make no mistake, if Trump returns to the White House and reduces aid, Putin gains a massive advantage. President Volodymyr Zelensky, meanwhile, is sounding the alarm louder than ever. In a statement today, Zelensky warned that delays in US aid packages are already costing lives on the battlefield. He stressed that without consistent American support, Russia could expand its operations and occupy more Ukrainian territory. Zelensky has also urged US lawmakers not to use Ukraine as a bargaining chip in political debates. He knows exactly what's at stake. Since February 2022, Ukraine has depended on US weapon systems, Patriots, HIMARS, Javelins, and ammunition supplies to keep Russian forces at bay. Billions in financial support have also kept Ukraine's economy alive. If Trump cuts or freezes that support, Zelensky will be left scrambling. Europe has provided aid as well, but as Zelensky has admitted, Europe cannot fully replace America's role. This brings us to an important point. Can Europe save Ukraine if America steps back? The truth is, Europe has been supportive. Countries like Poland, Germany, and the UK have given billions in aid and opened their doors to millions of refugees. But when it comes to advanced weapons and large-scale financial packages, Europe cannot match US power. Already, many European countries are facing domestic challenges, energy shortages, economic slowdown, political protests. Without America leading the charge, European leaders may struggle to keep the same level of support. And this is exactly what Putin is counting on. He knows that if the US withdraws, Europe will fracture, some countries might push for negotiations with Russia, and Ukraine could be left isolated. But this story doesn't end with Ukraine. A Trump-Putin alliance could have ripple effects across the globe. NATO, the military alliance that has been the backbone of Western defense since World War II, could face its greatest crisis. If Washington weakens its support, European members might start questioning whether America can still be trusted to defend them. That kind of doubt is dangerous because it could embolden Russia even further. Beyond Europe, China is watching closely. If Putin succeeds in Ukraine thanks to US hesitation, Beijing could feel encouraged to pursue its own ambitions in Taiwan. The message would be clear. Authoritarian regimes can get what they want if they simply wait for Western democracies to lose patience. Other countries like Iran and North Korea might also take this as a green light to act more aggressively. In short, the Trump-Putin dynamic could reshape the balance of power around the world. It's important to pause here and remember that behind all these speeches and strategies are real people. In Ukraine, millions of families have been displaced, children are growing up in bomb shelters, and soldiers are risking their lives every day. For them, US support is not just about politics, it's about survival. And in America, ordinary citizens are divided. Some believe that helping Ukraine is necessary to defend democracy and stop Russia's aggression before it spreads further. Others argue that billions should not be spent overseas when Americans are struggling at home. These emotions on both sides are shaping the debate, and Putin is hoping that division will work in his favor. What do you think? Would Trump's approach bring peace, or would it hand victory to Putin and destroy Ukraine's chances of survival? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one of the most important debates happening right now. Don't forget to hit like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis of global politics. Because trust me, the Trump-Putin-Zelensky story is just getting started.